In this video, we will look at mixed cell references. In mixed cell references, we either lock the letters, which is the column, but the rows remain unlocked, or we either don't lock the columns, but we lock the rows, which is represented by the numbers. Mixed cell references is in between of absolute and relative cell references. Mixed cell references, we only lock one, either the column or the rows. In this situation, we have a multiplication table. Row 2 refers to numbers from 1 to 12, and column A refers to numbers from 1 to 12 again. Now, we want to have a put in one formula in cell B3 and copy down and copy across. So this one formula, we don't want to type formulas in all the 144 cells. We just want to type one formula in that one cell. To do this, we follow the same multiplication formula. So it's just cell B2 multiplied by A3. We have to ask ourselves two questions for these two cell references. In the first cell references, we have to ask ourselves whether we want the numbers or the column letters to change when we copy down and across. All right, let's start with the first question. When we copy down, do we want the numbers to change? The answer for this is no. We want the row 2 to remain constant, to always refer to this row 2, right? Because this row 2 contains our numbers for multiplication. To remain constant, we put a $sign. We lock row 2. Put a $sign in front of the numbers. We can do this manually, like what I did, by typing a $sign in front of the numbers, or by pressing F4. After answering the first question, when we copy down, whether we want the numbers to change or not. The next question we want to ask ourselves is whether the letters, do we want the letters to change as we copy across? Do we want the letters to refer to column C, that's number 2, column D, which refers to number 3, column E refers to number 4, and so on, as we copy across? The answer is yes. Because we want the letters to change, therefore, we do not lock the letter B, right? We leave it as it is. After solving this, the first cell reference, let's look at the second cell reference. Again, we ask ourselves these two questions. When we copy down, do you want the numbers, the rows in column A to change as we copy down? The answer is yes, because we want to refer to row 4 for number 2, row 5 for number 3, row 6 for number 4, and row 7 for number 5. We want the numbers to change. So we want the numbers to change. Therefore, we do not lock the numbers. For columns, in the second cell reference, do we want it to change? Do we always want it to remain in column A, or do we want it to change column B, column C, column D, column E, and so on when we copy across? The answer is no. We want it to always remain at column A. Therefore, put a $sign to lock column A. Let's test our formula. Copy down, copy across, and we get the answer. Now, the best way to test yourself is to see what happens if you violate these things. Now, ask yourself what happens if you do not lock either one. What will happen? Copy yourself. Yeah. Copy. Can you explain to me why? What's wrong with these formulas? How about if you lock this one and you lock this one? Why is it all once? I'll give you another question. What happens if you lock 2 and you lock you 3? What will happen when you copy down and copy across? To help you, this is a summary of the concepts of mixed cell references. You ask yourself these two questions. Do you want the columns to change as you copy across? If yes, don't lock the letters. If you don't want the columns to change, lock the letters. Right? You do the same thing if you copy up and down. As a side note, for those advanced, some columns don't change. Columns don't change when you're copying down. Rows don't change when you copy across. Right? So let's look at this. Columns B2 times when I copy down here, my column still remains at column B, and my column A still remains at column A. Right? So columns don't change when you copy down. Likewise, when you copy across, the numbers don't change. See? At M3, my numbers still refer to row 2 and row 3. At B3, my numbers still refer to 2 and 3. This is the end of the video. The best way to learn is to try the question first and then compare with the answers that I have uploaded in Moodle.